Well, I've had the pleasure of chatting with Heather. We've not had a chance to meet before today, but I was delighted that she wanted to come to speak to our group. She has a remarkable personal story. She grew up in Orange County, California, came here to follow her father, and grew up in Goose Creek, and now lives in Hanahan. She went to Clemson University. Go Tigers! Sorry about the Gamecocks. But she also started work after Clemson at the diocese, and moved from the diocese to Birthright of Charleston. She worked her way up, which is a wonderful thing. A lot of organizations, you know, there's a tendency to look outside rather than kind of develop leadership organically. She grew up in different roles within the organization, became the director in 2018, and was thanked for that by having to deal with COVID. So that was the challenge she had to overcome. But she is doing a great job. She turned her organization into the black this last year, so she continues to demonstrate and ably lead the organization. She's a mom of two twins. I guess you don't have any other thing like two twins, but she's a mom of twins, 9 years old, and really delighted. She goes to Divine Redeemer, lives in Hanahan, and really delighted to have Heather join us. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, thank you all for coming and listening to what I have to share today about Birthright. We are the abortion alternative, and what that means is we offer our clients only life-affirming options to the crisis that they're experiencing with their pregnancy, whatever that may be, whether it's helping them formulate a plan to figure out how to care for their baby and raise it themselves, or to give it up for adoption. So I'm the executive director. My name is Heather Diamond. I am a former diocesan employee. I worked in the Office of Research and Planning, but I think they changed the name of that office so many times. And I was with the diocese for about 7 years. My director at the time was Lisa Rollins, and she was on the board for Birthright. So she brought me in. She said, you know, you're a very compassionate person. I think you'd be great to work with the clients. But I was in my early 20s, and I had zero experience with pregnancy, babies. I was not in a place where I could help anybody with that situation. So I decided to just stay behind the scenes. I did a lot of all the administration, support and help process donations and stuff. And so I've, been around, and I would hear all the volunteers talk about everything. So I got to kind of get like some secondhand training just by being there all the time to work with clients, even though I wasn't working with them then. In 2015, I became pregnant. And it was actually a very traumatic pregnancy. I found out I was having twins, but one of them had some issues. They were in separate sacs, and one of them had a leak in her sac. So the doctors told me to expect her to be stillborn. They gave me some options to maybe, remove the problem so that the other baby could stay healthy and thrive. And that was not an option to me. So, basically, at that point, all I could do was turn, to support systems, to God, to Birthright. I knew these ladies had been through it, they've seen it, they've heard it all. And the emotional support that I received from them just, during the time when I didn't know what was going to happen with my children is invaluable. There's not really anything that they couldn't give me any resources to help, but they gave me strength. They prayed with me. They helped me rely on the Holy Spirit to just have faith that there is a plan, and I just need to be patient and see it through. So at 31 weeks, my children were born very early. The healthy baby, she came out of the NICU within 30 days of being born. The other baby, she stayed until she was almost 4 months old. She had a lot of things to overcome. She had multiple surgeries. And when we finally got her home, she came home on oxygen, a feeding tube. She also had casts on her legs all the way up to her hips because she had some malformities of her legs. We wanted her to be able to have a future to walk or do anything. Those had to be fixed. Unfortunately, medical procedures like that are really hard on children, and I wasn't able to work at all. I had to take her to therapies, make sure she stayed on a feeding schedule, medication schedule, all of that, plus raise the other healthy baby. So I was overwhelmed, and really during that time, Birthright was still calling on me, checking on me. I would help with some admin stuff here or there, but I was overwhelmed for the first 3 years of their life. And then things just started, getting better. We started, identifying what her issues were, and we kind of got her off of everything. And she was off the oxygen first, then her feet got fixed. She started walking at 2.5 years. And then by the time she was 3.5, she had started eating finally. We could take her feeding tube out. So I was, free to go back to work. Right about that time, the director that was currently there decided she wanted to leave. So it was kind of just like a natural progression for me to just step in. I was ready to work with clients. I had been there. I knew the value of Birthright. I knew the Holy Spirit works through Birthright to, save these mothers and these babies and give them hope. So I took over. I, kind of had to just, the previous director just left. So I really had to just jump in and figure out what I was doing. And then COVID happened, like 1.5 years later, and it almost killed us. We almost died. Birthright almost didn't exist. And, but I was stubborn and I prayed that God would, help me find the right people to keep this organization going. And he really did. We have a very active board now, so things are going great. But I know that for a long time, I didn't know what I wanted to do with my career. And by the time I took over as director, I realized like this is where God wants me to be. He put me through everything I've been through so that I can help these women and give them hope. The hope that I received, from God and through Birthright and then volunteers and, just family and friends during my time of trauma, I know is what is going to help these women. So I'm grateful to have experienced that so that I can really give them the help that they need. My favorite thing to say is save the baby by serving the mother. A mother who is not loved and cared for and taken care of and able to support herself can't properly love her children. So what is Birthright? Our charter statement is the right of every pregnant woman to give birth and the right of every child to be born, and everything we do supports that. So we are a crisis pregnancy center offering hope, love, and support to any woman who is pregnant, thinks she might be pregnant, or has a child that's 12 months of age or younger. All of our services are completely free and confidential, regardless of circumstance, income, race, or religion. I don't care what your situation is. I just want you to come and talk to me and tell me what's going on, and we'll figure it out together. We are completely non-judgmental. We are informal and welcoming. We don't want it to feel like a doctor's appointment. We tell people to call anytime they want to, email anytime they want to, walk in. They don't need to make an appointment. Just come. We're there. It's just important to us also that they feel like they can come in and just be free to say everything without judgment, that they're not worried we're going to cause any problems for them, or, if they don't tell us what they're really worried about, we can't help them. We can't help them figure out how to fix it. So it's important to us that we make sure, that they don't feel judged. So say we have a client who, ended up deciding to get an abortion after she left us. We still want her to feel like she can come to us for support after that, because we've had plenty of clients that will come back with a second pregnancy and choose life because they knew they could come back to us and we help them. I find that a lot of women that come to Birthright, they don't want an abortion. They are looking for the other options. It's just they have no idea where to start, where to go, and nobody cares enough to walk with them. But that's why we're here, so they don't feel like they're alone. They can email us, any time of day. I'll email them back. We forward the phones, so they are just a phone call away from emotional support. So a little bit of history about Birthright. We are the world's first international crisis pregnancy center. We were founded in 1968 by a woman named Louise Summerhill, and at the time abortion was kind of just like the go-to option. Unfortunately, when you are finding yourself pregnant in circumstances that maybe society is stigmatizing you for. So she was seeing, just the rise in abortions in Canada, and noted like there needs to be a place for these women to go so that they don't just make a panic decision to correct a mistake or whatever, that they go and they know that they have, options. And she set it up so that they would have homes to live in, be able to get their babies adopted out, make sure that they got medical care and they were taken care of while they were pregnant if their family wasn't helping them or whatever it may be. So actually her daughters now, 60 years later almost, they run it now. They're actually twins, which I think is really cool. So we have over 500 locations worldwide. Most of them are in the United States and Canada. but there are some in South America, Europe, and there's quite a few in Africa, and they're very active. The Charleston chapter was established in 1974. I think there was a period in the 90s where they were inactive for a while, and then some people kind of got it going again. And then, you know, like I said, during COVID, we kind of really like slowed down a lot. I was the only, you know, volunteer, only person that would be able to work because we didn't want anybody getting sick or whatever, but we were still seeing clients at that time. I was still seeing clients. So for a while during COVID, we really were just kind of treading water. And then once we came out of COVID, I just realized there's so much more we could be doing. So we really worked hard to grow our board and get into a new position. So we, once we got some more people on our board, I finally got us to move to a new location. We have been there 2 years now, but I say new because we were at the other one for, I think, over 20 years, longer than I was there. But we are off of Sam Rittenberg in the Ashley Hall Center, kind of across from El Molino. And it's a really nice facility. I invite any of you to come by anytime we're open to just come in and ask for a tour. I'd love to show you around and just show you, you know, everything that we keep there for the clients and how we help them. So the services we offer, pregnancy testing and information. A lot of times, you know, the women are scared to take a test. There's nobody that they trust to take it with. They don't want to talk about it with anybody. And so they just don't want to take it alone. It's a scary thing to get that positive result and you don't know what to do. So, you know, we do talk to them before they take the test to find out how they would feel, positive or negative, so that we're prepared, you know, to help them once we deliver those results. Referrals to medical and professional agencies. So once they get a positive, you know, test, we're definitely going to make sure they have medical care. We help them sign up for Medicaid, you know, any other, you know, local government agencies that can help them that they would benefit from. We'll make sure they know about it. And then connection with community resources. This one's really big because people are always looking for housing resources, you know, help with paying bills or childcare or, you know, just maybe even transportation. There's so many different needs out there. And so, you know, we just try to make sure we have a whole list of resources that we're always updating. So if people call us, this would probably be our most common service because they can just call and get information from us real quick or email. And, you know, they can say, I'm having this problem, and you say, this is where you know, this is the list of places you can go. And then we also offer emotional support. Like I said, that's what like drew me into this job and how I knew that it was something I needed to do. You know, it helps like heal a little bit of the trauma that I went through, but I know that everything that I went through was so that I could help these women. And the emotional support is my favorite part. I love when the women just call and they say, hey, this is what's going on and I just wanted somebody to talk to, or they stop in and they want to, you know, show their kid to me that they had with us 3 years ago, but you know, they're still going through some stuff and they just want to talk. We're still here for them. But we don't give them, we don't tell them what to do. We make sure they know what their options are and we help them form a plan that's going to work for them, because ultimately this is their life and we need to empower them to make the right decisions, to choose to be a mother, to choose to love her children, you know, to do the right things. And then we also offer maternity and infant supplies. My favorite room in the whole office is our mother's room. It's a kind of like a little shop of maternity clothes and pregnancy, just different supplies and accessories for them, and they can go in there and kind of just take what they need. A lot of these women, they only have the clothes that they have now and their bellies are growing. So they walk in and their stomach's out. How are they supposed to go to work and feel professional? How are they supposed to run errands and have dignity? You know what I mean? So it's so important for them to have a place where they can go and just get maybe 3 pairs of pants or a skirt, you know, and a couple of shirts, just to kind of get them through. You would not be surprised how many women cry when I open that room and they go in there and they're like, oh my gosh, and I have to tell them, like, you can take more, you know what I mean? Like, you can have more. And they all, probably 75% of them bring stuff back to us after they're done using it. And a lot of the maternity clothes are great for postpartum as well. So, you know, even if they come to us later in the pregnancy, I still encourage them to go in there and find some stuff. So they'll have something after the baby comes, you know? And then infant supplies, it's also really big. With the women that come to us before they have their babies, we try to make sure a month or 2 before their due date that they get our lay-it package, which is diapers, wipes, toiletries, bottles, bibs, blankets, pacifiers, you know, all the essentials, clothing, all that kind of stuff. If they are in need of bigger items like car seat, stroller, crib, any sort of like baby furniture, we would have to give those to them brand new in the packaging, just for liability purposes. But everything else that we give out is donated to us, and we can take gently used, except for baby furniture. But the furniture does have to be brand new. We can't accept those as donation, but they've got to be in the box. But for the most part, the only supplies that we purchase at Birthright for our clients are those big ticket items that have to be brand new, like the cribs and the strollers and the car seats, the bouncy seats. But the rest of the supplies we get donated. So if we run out of bottles that month, those clients that are getting their layup packages that month, they don't get the bottles, you know, unless I can scrounge and find some, which of course I'm gonna do my best, you know. So it's kind of like whatever we have is because people gave it to us. So some client demographics and statistics. Our typical clients doesn't exist. Most people assume that our clients are younger women, maybe this is their first pregnancy, they're almost teenagers or early 20s, they don't have the support system or whatever. A lot of women that come to us already have children, they're already married. And I'll tell you the number one reason why we hear women considering abortion is financial issues. And that is the saddest thing I've ever heard. You already have 3-4 kids and you're considering not bringing in this other family member because you can't even afford what you have now. That's heartbreaking to me. And that's making a desperate decision, and I don't want them to have to do that. So my goal, you know, is to make sure that every woman, you know, whether she was married or unmarried, already has kids or doesn't, that we treat them all the same, you know, and they don't feel like they're being judged for any situations they're coming into. Because we hear a lot of stuff, like, you know, people, I'll explain later, but we hear a lot of really sad situations and we can't judge them because sometimes it sounds like someone got themselves into it, you know, but you just don't really know. So our client growth is incredible. This past year, we really built our board up, and the awareness of Birthright in general in the community has just kind of really spread, which is amazing. So our clients are increasing exponentially. Like I don't know how we've caught up. We've been able to stay caught up, I guess it's with the help of the board, but we grew like, you know, 2 times as much from the previous year. We gave out 64 car seats last year, and that's 2.5 times what we gave out the year before, and 40 bassinets or cribs, you know, beds for babies to sleep in, and that's 3 times as much as we gave out the previous year. People are needing this stuff, and we were able to provide it, and you know, it's all based on like funding and availability, and we actually got a lot of these items donated to us this year, so that helps a lot as well. And you know, a car seat costs $100, a crib over $100, then you need the mattress, then you need sheets, you know? And like, I forget who said it before, with the St. Vincent de Paul, these kids don't have a bed, they're taking them. So we make sure that the babies have a car seat to go home from in the hospital because they won't release them without it, and we make sure that the babies are gonna have a bed. Not every client needs all of this stuff, and some clients need everything we have to offer. So let's talk about some of the babies. We have Zion and Victor up top. Zion and Victor's mom is Liz. She was married to their dad. Zion was 4 when Victor was born. As you can see, he has a trach-in. He has extensive special needs. Liz is not going to be able to work anymore. She's going to be probably caring for Zion for his whole life, or at least, you know, the early childhood. Not able to work at all. I went through, you know, raising a special needs baby, and I can tell you that it puts a lot of strain on relationships. And her husband started physically abusing her. So she fled, and she got connected with a group of ladies from her church that she is so blessed for this. They set her up with an apartment and paid for the first year of her housing, and they got her a car, which is amazing. She was not going to be able to work at all. You know, and then once she fled, she found out she was pregnant with twins. So that's when they called me, and that's Sylvia and Ezra at the bottom. And so Birthright stepped in, and we were actually able to give her a triple stroller because a special needs baby has a schedule, and it's not all in the house. There are therapies, there are medications that have to be picked up, there are doctor's appointments, there's just a lot of stuff. And she was gonna need to be able to transport the little babies with him to be able to get to all this stuff. I have to tell you, like, I can't imagine having extra kids to go to that stuff when I just had to bring twins, you know, to my baby's special things. So this woman is like a warrior. I have been so impressed with her strength. The babies are 1.5 years now, the youngest one's Sylvia and Ezra, but they actually don't live too far from me, so I've been really fortunate. I can go and drop off diapers to them once in a while and get to check in with them. And it's really sweet to see all 4 of them together. They're doing great. And then this is Jessica and Neve. Jessica came to us because her and her mom moved down here. They didn't know anybody. Jessica met a guy. She thought she was in love with her boyfriend. She becomes pregnant. She tells him she's having his baby, and he drops a bomb that he's married and doesn't want anything to do with her or the child, and says, abort this child because I want nothing to do with it. So, her mom is, supportive, but they don't have a lot of money. Her mom doesn't work, and she was the only one working. And, it's hard to work when you're pregnant later on, and then once you have the newborn baby. So she knew that the income was going to be limited. So Jessica really was, considering abortion because she just didn't know. She didn't want to be a burden to her mom. She wanted to still be able to take care of her mom, and she didn't want to have to do this alone. So it was our responsibility to tell her she's not going to be alone. First of all, she's got her mom, and her mom wanted this baby. So you've got your support system right there with you. You're not going to be alone raising the baby. But then financially, we can help you get some stuff into place. And once we talked to her, by the time, she was going to leave, she was not even considering abortion anymore. But it's so crazy to think, like, how quickly they can make that decision because they didn't know anybody was there for them, that picture, Neve was probably, I would say she was like 4 months there, and then she's almost 3 in the second one. They come back to visit all the time. And they actually were some of my last clients at the old facility, so they love coming into the new one and seeing everything there. But it's really sweet when the moms want to come back and show me their babies, because it's definitely my favorite part. So let's talk about our needs. Financial funding. We actually were, Frank said, we finally made it in the black last year. We hadn't been for quite some time. We were fortunate we had some reserves to kind of get us through, and we would, wait to help certain people until we had the donations or whatever. We didn't have to do that this year, thankfully, but we need to keep it up. We need regular funding coming in so that we can start new programs. I want to be able to offer parenting classes. I want to be able to offer transportation to and from our office or to their doctor's appointments, but all of that costs money to run those programs. And I don't want to start a program like that, we don't know that we're going to have the funding to continue it. But we also don't get any government funding, so everything we get is just private donors, churches, local groups. We are going to start reaching out for grants and stuff this year, but it's really important that we have just the community in general wanting to support us regularly financially, just, doing a little bit, here and there, even if, you can't financially support us, you can't help us with infant and maternity supplies. Every time we go grocery shopping, get us a pack of diapers or some formula or wipes or something, and drop it off wherever. I mean, I'm willing, if somebody wants to, have a site where I can come pick up some stuff, we're willing to do that too. Any way I can get donations, I'm coming to get them, y'all. But like I said, whatever we have is what we have. So if we're not donated to, then those moms that need that stuff, they're not gonna get it unless I do some scrambling, And then we also need board members and volunteers. Our board is very active right now. We just want to make sure we still have more people coming in that want to help us, that want to be involved, because we want to keep growing. We want to keep creating awareness. We don't spend money on any advertising. So the only way that people know that we're around here is the work that the board's doing, that the clients are doing, spreading word of mouth, that sort of stuff. And I really need help with volunteers. I only have 6 volunteers that come in regularly now, but it's only for 1 day a week, a couple hours. And so otherwise it's just me there the whole time. And I really would like for there to be maybe 2 volunteers at a time, all the time when we're open. We are open 6 days a week right now. So, there's a lot of slots to fill. But as far as volunteers go, you don't have to just work with the clients. We also need help with just anything y'all got, professionally. If you've got something, that you think you can help us with, we need help, in all different areas. We're always putting out newsletters. We've got digital media we need to work on, all kinds of stuff. So, there's probably things I'm not thinking about that maybe y'all could think of that would help us. So, yeah. And then I would just like to leave you with the essence of Birthright is love. No matter who comes in that door, I want them to leave feeling loved. That's my main goal. If they feel loved, then they will make decisions out of love, you know, and they'll feel empowered to help themselves. So I have some information over there on that table. If you guys want to take anything, feel welcome. You can leave your information if you want to join our mailing list or if you're interested in volunteering or anything like that.
Heather, thank you.
Open for some questions?
Oh yeah, anybody have questions? Yeah.
How do, I understand what you're saying, that the financial aspect is the biggest thing that you see with moms
Mhm.
coming in.
Mhm.
Where do you turn them to for the financial?
Well, it would
assistance?
depend on, so that's when we get into like the details, like what are you struggling with? Do you have a job? Is it a regular job? You know what I mean? Or is it just intermittent? Are you, just doing temp work? Do you guys all have health insurance? How are you being fed? How is your rent getting paid? That kind of stuff. We just kind of look into stuff. And there are other resources, different organizations in the area that offer financial literacy classes. That's a big one that we would push for them. Because we can only give so many resources, but they also need to learn how to, run their finances and stuff like that. I mean, things seem hopeless until you have somebody kind of show you what to do. They just need a little navigation and then they're able to figure it out. And I do say that the biggest reason, is finances, because I think a lot of people who are like dead set on abortion, they're not coming to Birthright, a place called Birthright, We're getting the clients who are on the fence, who are considering abortion, but it's not what they want,
And you help people sign up for Medicaid.
Mm-hmm.
So is there like a welfare thing that you can help them sign up for as well?
Yeah, so there's food stamps and there's the temporary financial relief stuff that, there's a few government programs that we refer them to.
Okay, cool. You can
Yeah.
help them get
So
signed
we can
up.
get
for
signed
those.
up for
Okay.
stuff, yeah.
You probably mentioned this already, but like you mentioned needs like bottles and beds and things. How do we get on an email list or somehow know when you have needs for stuff like that? Or do
So
we
you
just
can
check the
join our mail
website?
list. Yeah, you can
Okay.
just check the website anytime. You can put your information on that sheet there and I'll add you to our mailing list. We send out newsletters via mail or email, so we'll keep you in the loop if you make sure I have your email. I'll make sure you know what you need. But yeah, I also keep it up to date on the website.
I can say too that for years we did Without Walls Ministry in adopted neighborhoods, and St. Vincent de Paul helped us a lot, and Catholic Charities with furniture and bills. Do you have a partnership with St. Vincent de Paul? Do they help you?
We
with that
refer to
stuff?
St. Vincent de Paul all the time.
Okay.
And it just depends on, we know there's different chapters, so we try to make sure that the clients are calling the ones that are in their area to help them. And we work with, I'm at Catholic Charities once a week, dropping off donations or picking up stuff. We work very closely with them. They are our biggest resource to give for the clients who age out after the 12 months. They're basically where we send them if they need clothes and other stuff, because it's right down the road and we know that they have that stuff, because when we get donated, toddler clothes or even just like non-maternity clothes, we get all kinds of random donations, men's clothing, everything. We'll just take it over there. So that's why I like to send my people there, but that's also why I support them so much. Yes.
Heather, thank you. I was just curious, what's your annual budget was number one, and number two, if you could kind of compare and contrast Birthright to Low Country Pregnancy Center and to other entities in the ecosystem of
So we do a
supporting-
lot less than Low Country Pregnancy Center. They have like the whole medical aspect. I have no idea like what their budget is. Ours is like right at a little under 100,000 this year, I think, which is probably like 16 grand or 14 grand more than last year. And then the year before that was only like 67. So we're really, really growing.
Yeah, there's three members here, by the way.
Yeah.
Mary Swenson and Carrie Mummert and myself here. And as I said earlier, as Heather alluded earlier, we were in the red for the last couple of years, so we were not bringing enough money to cover our expenses. This year, we were fortunate enough that we turned it. We have one donor. It shows you the impact that you can create as an individual. We have one individual that used to just donate like 10, 15 bucks every quarter or something like that. Well, he passed away, and all of a sudden he gave us $20,000. And just that $20,000 was a significant, asset.
That's all the
to
car seats and
group.
cribs this year. You know what I mean? He
Yeah.
handled that basically.
So next year, our budget is $125,000. she alluded that I think we serve like 195 clients altogether. As far as a client could be, you just come to get diapers or you just call in or whatever. And our goal this year is for 250. So we kind of establishing certain goals so that our organization continues to grow. The key though is volunteers for us as members. We really need people, because my fear is who is in a situation that needs help and nobody's there or the doors are closed.
Yeah, we can't be open if we don't have enough people to.
You know what I'm saying? So it's critical that if you know somebody is newly retired, wanna get involved with the community, just offer a couple hours a week or maybe even a month for that matter. And I think that would help
It would,
to the
yeah.
bottom line.
What hours are you open on Tuesdays and Fridays?
So Tuesdays, we are 10 to 3:30. Friday is 10 to 1.
Okay, do you know why I asked that?
No.
Yes.
Oh, could the abortion clinic, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
that's what the abortion.
What time are they open?
They open at 8.
Okay, then let's look at adjusting those hours. Cause we used to have Saturday hours, I guess they used to do it on Saturdays. And we do still have Saturday hours now, but we're not seeing anybody from that. You know, that's why we originally were open on Saturdays, but now that we're busier, we get more people just in general that need help on a Saturday. So we're open every day but Sunday. It's just the hours are limited right now. I'd like to open it up so it would be like, 8 to 4 every day, but it's gonna take time for us to get there to be able to do that.
Can I add a little more?
Please.
It'll take a little bit, but we do seeing a larger Hispanic community coming in. And unfortunately, we're here just down the road from here in West Ashley, so it's difficult for those people to travel all the way to West Ashley. So we're trying to figure out a way if we can go to your church and kind of offer our services. So how can we help communities in Goose Creek and other areas where there may be a larger need than what we may have in Mount Pleasant or downtown Charleston or West Ashley. So that's just kind of part of the board's role, is just to identify how we're gonna try to target a bigger need. Because ultimately what we wanna do is eliminate all abortions. So how do we go to the areas, I've worked with Meals on Wheels and other, you gotta look at areas where they have the need. And right now, it's a small office in West Ashley when there's a need everywhere.
Well, I'm wondering if there's a way to tie in to the U.S. Bishops program, Walking with Moms in Need. It was launched in March of 2020 as part of the celebration of John Paul II's Gospel of Life, its 25th anniversary, but unfortunately March of 2020 was the beginning of COVID, so it kind of went underground, but as they kind of revitalized it, and the purpose is to, every parish, Catholic parish in the country, is to have a program as sort of part of their Respect Life, Walking with Moms in Need. And I would think that you,
We do work
you
with
reach
them.
out to the
Yeah,
churches.
they actually, a lot of them have found us. We work with one at St. Benedict.
Yes.
I'm working really closely with Sandy Powers over at St. Clair of Assisi with their
Uh-huh.
Walking with Moms in Need group. I just talked to her yesterday about a client. So yeah,
Uh-huh.
we're very
And we're ready. I know we
Yeah.
did, way back, I guess it was in 21, we helped a family, but I know Cathedral's available.
awesome. Good.
So they don't
Yeah.
necessarily have to be, they're a member of the parish by any means.
Okay. Yeah.
So, but that program is really.
It's a great program, what
Yeah.
they're doing for these women. Like, they're adopting them and they're doing so much more than we can do because financially they're supporting them, basically.
From what
Yes.
I understand at St. Benedict's with the, what is it called in, the
The
program?
baby-
Yeah, well,
baby-
they just sent out, from what I understand, by telling the mother's story in the bulletin, they were able to collect.
Raise money that way?
Money for her to have a car.
Yes, I
And
remember all
the
that. Yeah.
churches can be very responsible. for
They
these-
can, and that's the kind of stuff like we can't do for them, but to be able to refer, people out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I just want to say, I've been involved with the movement and sidewalk counseling too. A lot of people, if you can get the woman or the family member to call, like even if Birthright's not open, the phone will roll to somebody. And there's also optionline.org. There's the Birthright hotline.
24/7, yeah.
And the optionline.org is English and Spanish 24 hours a day.
Nice.
And they are trained and really good. So sometimes if I'm on the sidewalk, or if you just know anyone, or if our parishes and our college students could know about these hotline numbers, just get the woman on the phone and get them talking, and then we'll get there. Just even knowing, like, if, okay, now that I know your hours, if we're at the sidewalk, like literally, I said, come on, we've got Birthright, we'll go over, just come with me. And no, they're not open until 10. Just say, all right, we're gonna go grab a coffee and a donut and then go over.
There's
and
a coffee shop right in our.
There you go. And then sometimes I'm like, I don't know, I just rely on God, because the Low Country Pregnancy Center is not open on Fridays, because they have
Right.
found that the decision's already made, Daz and Low Country, but.
And they tried on a Saturday years ago, and they just got no referrals.
Right, because it's like the 1 in 1,000 that we
Yeah.
pull, but you just say,
But that's the
let's go.
difference you're making.
Right, you just say, we're gonna
Individuals.
go to Birthright, I'm gonna find you an ultrasound, I don't know how I'm gonna do it, I have no idea how I'm gonna do it, but you just offer it, and then somehow miraculously, you'll find it. you know.
Well, Calvary Lutheran Church has a grant, and they are getting ready to put a billboard up near Planned Parenthood
Oh, that'd be good.
about abortion pill reversal. Several communities have those across the country. It's very important.
It is
And
important.
we will get a lot of calls.
We do refer women for abortion pill reversals to Holy City Pregnancy Center
Yes.
usually, because they can get in touch with them right away. They're the mobile ultrasound unit, and they have a doctor on call that they can get that prescription for them. Because time is of the essence with that.
Yeah.
And I can't tell you how many women have called us saying, I took the first pill and I regret it, you know? And those babies can't be saved.
But it's time is of the essence.
Time is of the essence, so us being able to answer that phone call, you know what I mean, or y'all being there to get them off the sidewalk, it makes a difference.
Well, the billboard will really.
It really will help, yeah.
'Cause
So,
that's-
Carrie, we've got-
That's where the abortions are now.
Carrie, we
Well, I
have time
just
for one
wanna-
more question or
Sure,
one more
no, it's
comment.
not really a question, it's a thank you. Since joining the board, the significant donors and churches, it comes from our Catholics. So I personally, as a board member, want to thank all of you.
Same.
And please, you spreading the word, because without that financial support, we wouldn't be able to grow the way we have. We have a lot of parishes that do the baby bottles or do baby showers, but if your parish isn't involved and want to, but also I really want to focus on more ecumenical, because again, we're serving, this is again, I want to say thank you as Catholics, because you all are making a difference through this organization. But spread the word to other ecumenicals, and please reach out to myself or Heather, because we could help so many more people. We could just really raise more funds and get more supplies. So, but again, thank you to my Catholic brothers and sisters, because you are making a huge difference.
Have you thought about having a banquet?
We have, we're
working on
getting,
that.
we're getting bigger. We're just
Yeah.
baby steps.
We're very busy.
Well, Heather, thank you so
Thank
very,
y'all.
very much.
Appreciate